once a runner is injured, for me, the sell, so to speak, on being like, hey, dude, like it's time. We should have been strength training this whole time, and like now we don't have another option, so we strength train. And it's a pretty easy sell. Like they get it, you know. And I have found that almost in every single one of my runners, the gift of injury in that sense is that following their rehab, they are now adopting strength training as a regular part of their routine,
Yeah.
right? And so when we think about like, all right, well, what's the silver lining here of this injury? It's that, hey, you actually like came out the other side of this thing and you're going to be a better athlete, a better runner moving forward because now like you've seen the benefits that the strength training can have and you're adopting that into your life and into your routine.
Yeah, and the fact that it not only decreases chances of injury through increases in bone mineralization, increased activation of motor units, and increasing that ceiling, like we talked about, but the implications for running economy, I think, are huge. I mean, some of the
Mm.
papers indicate that you can get a 4% improvement in running economy just through proper strength training,
Yeah, I believe it.
which it's like, people go crazy about the newest shoe that gives us, 2 to 4% improvement in running economy and stuff like that. But it's like, instead of like putting down hundreds of dollars on a single use pair of shoes, like, why don't you just strength train? And it's going to have
Mm.
so much more of a variety of benefits to your entire body and to your running performance than going out and like doing the easy way out and just buying a new pair of shoes.
And so I agree with you 100%. It's like, dude, if you're not if as a runner, you're not consistently strength training, if you're an off, especially in off season, right? Like if you're ramping up mileage, the conversation shifts and changes a little bit because we have to like be cognizant of your energy balance and your recovery and all of that, especially if you're putting in, 80 to 100-mile weeks, right? Like it's still very possible to strength train, but we have to tailor it a little bit differently. But in particular, like if you're in the off season and you're just in maintenance mileage mode, there is no question that the biggest money that you can be putting in the bank is getting in 2 days of strength training a week. And the I think the thing that a lot of people don't realize is it doesn't have to be super complicated. It doesn't have to be long and it doesn't have to take the place of your runs. You can strength train and run on the same day. What we've found is that anywhere from 4 to 6 exercises in a resistance training session is plenty, with somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 4 sets. And the great thing is, like, you're not training for hypertrophy. So we don't have to get you to failure. We don't have to get you close to failure. The top end set of your lifts just have to be decently hard. Like you have to walk away from that feeling like it was hard, but also you can walk away feeling like you had a little bit left in the tank too. And you're still going to get the majority of the benefit from the strength training as a runner. And then also keep your central nervous system from getting super fried and taxed so that you stay fresh for your run the next day as well. Um, and so our process with strength training runners is like it's way less involved than people think. Like it's literally just doing something compared to nothing, and you already get the majority of the benefit. So like literally just like showing up and doing something will move the needle so much compared to just not doing anything that the idea that you would not do anything at all is like very confusing to me,
Yeah.
you know?
And the fact that like neuromuscular gains are going to be like almost immediate. I mean, within 3 weeks, you're going to see huge recruitment gains in the amount of actual muscle fibers you can recruit. And that's not just in the weight room, but that translates to running.
For sure.
Actually, I've been talking. I've had one of my good friends, Lucas Clauder, who's a PhD in biomechanics, and he teaches at Northern Michigan University. And we were talking about this exact topic. And it's so funny when you have good information. If you talk to different people, they all say the same things. And like,
Right.
it's
Yeah,
not
it's
like I
true.
primed you for this or anything like that, but you're saying the exact same things that me and Lucas talked about like a week ago,
Mm.
which just goes to show like this paradigm shift needs to happen, and it's going to overall have a huge benefit in running performance and running economy and resilience and capacity in these runners, and it's not as hard as people make it out to be. And I think
Yeah.
one of the pervasive like myths surrounding running like strength training is that runners are endurance athletes, so they have to lift light weights many times. But as you kind of hinted at, that's going to lead to way more peripheral fatigue in the musculature, way more central fatigue in our nervous system. So you're just overall just going to be more fatigued. And it's not the best way to train our tissues. And we can get a lot more bang for our buck by actually making things a little bit harder and doing actually lower amounts of reps and sets and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think too, I think it's important to highlight, you know, you and I are both runners and have been runners for quite some time. And I think it's important to highlight and just recognize, I think a big pain point in the running community, I feel like now is a lot of our audience is going to hear this as runners and be like, yes, I hear what you're saying, but like I just don't know. I don't know like how to do any of these things. I've never stepped foot in a gym before. I don't know how to like touch a weight. Like I don't like I literally just feel so uncomfortable with the idea of that. And like I just want to say to anyone out there who is feeling that way, like that is okay. It is okay to feel that way. And there are plenty of rehab professionals throughout the country whose passion is to help introduce you to that.